Hello, I'm Alex Wood from Phantom Media, and part of this week of Volunteering Week, we're doing a range of interviews with key members who are volunteering throughout the university. I'm joined by Hannah Roberts today. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, you're right.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
And obviously, by the pictures in your background, we're joining you from live from your bedroom right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant. So, Hannah, if you could just give us a little brief description about yourself, like that would be brilliant, so that we can start off.
Yeah, so I'm a third year, I'm studying education. This year I'm president of women's football and futsal, and I was on committee last year as well. And I'm also part of the Union Sports Council.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. What is a day-to-day actual running women's football as a president?
So this year's been very different because obviously it's been difficult to, actually get on the pitch and recruit members. But there's lots of different things that being president involves. So obviously this year, more so than ever, but every year, risk assessments, we've done a lot of organising training, making sure, the coach and the participants know what's going on, communicating with new members, communicating with as other universities, so making sure that we've got teams and fixtures and everything sorted. This year has obviously been different, so like myself and the committee have organised the team joining an outside league, so we play in like a local league as well now, to try and as the replacement as for Bucks. But yeah, lots of different things, communicating with the union, communicating with members.
So when you're saying like communicating and risk assessing and making sure that everybody has done that, that's what you just described there was an awful lot. I assume that takes up quite a lot of time.
Yeah, it definitely does. It sort of ebbs and flows. Like around Freshers Week, there's obviously a lot that we put into, social media and then Freshers Fair and give it a go sessions. Once you get into sort of the routine of it, with like weekly matches and weekly training, it's a lot easier. But it's one of those things that time-wise, it does take up a lot of time, but also I really enjoy it. So it doesn't feel like it takes up too much time.
Yeah, the work is definitely worth the price of it. When you get a brand new member, and at the beginning they're really meek and quiet, and then through the end of the season they're one of the most vocal players on the pitch, other than one of the most vocal people in group chat.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously you touched with last year as well, and we'll move into more COVID environment this year because that's what we're all experiencing right now. Otherwise, this would probably be a face-to-face meeting. We'd be on the pitch surrounded by goalposts and a windy rain here in January, because I love January football, I really do. But we'll move on to that. When throughout the season, obviously, it's been very difficult for sports in particular, because at the beginning of the year, you guys weren't really sure what you could and couldn't do. And then you got told what you could do. And then you got told you couldn't do anything again. So just kind of work us through how that works in terms of, like, at the beginning of the year, you're like, right, we're going to have 40 hours a week of my time's going to be towards this. Wait, no, it's going to be 5. Wait, no, it's going to be this. Just try and talk us through that if you can.
Yeah, so like you said, it's been very up and down. At the start of the year, we had to do like a lot of risk assessments before we could start training, and that kept getting delayed. Originally we were told that hopefully we'd be able to enter Bucks in January, which has obviously since been cancelled. So yeah, we had to do a lot of risk assessments. We finally got on the pitch. Again, training was a bit different because we were limited with how many people we were allowed, so we weren't allowed as many as what we would usually hope for. Luckily, like, recruitment's still been quite good. Like, we've had a lot of freshers interested, but we've been sort of working on a week by week basis, whereas normally we'd sort of would train and have different sessions each week that kind of build off each other, but we haven't been doing that so much because you don't know how many sessions you're going to get or anything. So like I said, that's why we entered the Sunday league. Again, it's been a bit not disorganized, but it's been a bit hit and miss, whether we're going to be able to play or not. But we've been able to get lots of returning and new players involved in the Sunday matches, just so everyone's getting a chance to be involved as much as possible when we're allowed.
And then, like, let's try and talk about a little bit of difference of what last year was like, because as you said at the very beginning, you were a committee member last year as well. Like, just try and advance the contrast between the two in terms of like what was actually a day-to-day and a week-by-week basis, because at some point we're going back to normal. At some point sports are going to be able to be played again. At some point we're going to be able to stand on freezing cold pitches in January and scream our lungs out. At some point that's going to happen.
Yeah, so normal year, obviously we have a lot more matches and more training, which in some ways is more work, but also you definitely get into more of a routine with the volunteering. So you get used to like working with the coach, so you know what training is going to look like. On a normal year, we have 2 football teams in Bucks and 2 futsal teams in Bucks as well. So obviously those matches, football are on Wednesdays and futsal's at the weekend. Obviously we have more regular fixtures, so like team sheets and things like that get organised by committee, but again you sort of get into the routine of it. But yeah, like the union obviously help with, you know, transport and like the actual organisation of the fixtures gets done through the union, so they're always on hand to be really helpful. But yeah, so obviously there's more fixtures, but it also gets into a bit more of a routine. Definitely miss, you know, those Bucks Wednesdays when all the teams and all the different sports are playing in the sports centre. Sunday League is great, but like that feeling of like all the Team Derby teams being, you know, on all the pitches at the same time is definitely something that I miss a lot.
Yeah, and long may it come back. Long may it come back. We'll actually move to an educational side as well now, which is a really good, funny two-way thing, because that's not only your course, but obviously we're at university. We kind of have to do some educational stuff as well. Is it difficult juggling it with your course, like the amount of hours that you have to do in terms of volunteering?
This year's been very different because sort of this year I've found that it's been easier to manage in the sense that I've not had as much time commitment in terms of like how much time I actually spend, you know, at football training, at all these different things. So this year it's been a little bit easier. Last year it was more difficult. I'd still say it's one of those things, like for me, I really enjoy it. So that time I always manage to find time in my day to do the committee stuff and do my uni work, because they're both really important to me. I can imagine if it's something that you don't want to do, it's going to be hard to find that time. But as long as you've got that commitment, you will be able to fit it all in.
And like for those that are still humming and hawing about like whether they should volunteer at any society or any institution, charity, anything like that, like for you, what is the biggest thing that not only you get out of volunteering, but the biggest like purpose that it drives you forward for?
I do definitely think if you're considering volunteering, you've got to, you know, follow something that you're passionate about. Like you said, like that might be your sports team or your society, or it might be a certain charity or thing that you're, you know, really passionate about. But I do genuinely think as long as you've got that passion, you know, the hard work won't feel that hard. Especially being a committee member, I do definitely find like the more you put in, the more you get out of it as well. So, you know, however much time you're willing to put into it, you'll see the rewards. Like for me this year, we could have not done the Sunday team and we could have just said, oh, well, we'll train when we can. But doing that Sunday team, like it's required a lot more effort, a lot more organization, but being able to see like all the players come in on a Sunday and play sports when so many people haven't been able to, like, that makes me feel really great and feels like I've done something for other people. So just go for it, do what you're passionate about, and it won't feel like hard work.
Thank you very much, Hannah.
No worries.